Well, good morning. Welcome to Reaching the Lost Success Stories. We want to continue our discussions on baptisms, which is the fourth step in the evangelism model. Now, last week we talked about the need to bring the baptism before your congregation via video. If they're not going to do it before the church, video it and display it. Now, let's talk about some other matters pertaining to baptisms that need to be highlighted. When there is a baptism at a local church, obviously it needs to be announced. When are most baptisms announced? They're announced during the announcements, and it gets blended in with all the other minutia of a congregation. Don't do that. Always announce a baptism, once again, after the invitation song. Always make it stand out. Now, when you have baptisms, you should reward, or you should recognize, perhaps is a better word, the person who's been baptized with some tools. In other words, call them forward, give them a baptism Bible, give them a baptismal certificate, give them something to help them grow as a Christian. Baptisms should be recognized by the church. Bring that person forward. I was at one congregation, and after the baptism, the elders called all the members forward. We all held hands. Now, this was a large church, so we literally held hands around the entire auditorium. And so people were holding hands, and one of the elders led us in prayer, rejoicing and thanking God for this new member who is now part of the church. Wow. Was that not a statement by that church and the love that was displayed to that new Christian when people surrounded her, when people embraced her, when people walked up to her? I mean, it can be no more discouraging that when a baptism happens, people are leaving and walking out. When a baptism happens, people don't stay and welcome the new Christian into Christ. This is a very special moment. Now, concerning baptisms, your church needs to be prepared for baptisms. So don't forget, the most important room in your church should not be the most neglected. The baptistry, you should have a coordinator over the baptistry, someone working the baptismal certificates, the baptismal Bibles. You just need to be ready. Make sure that there's warm water. Make sure the water's ready. Make sure it doesn't look like it's a pond in the back of a farm that the cows drink out of. Let's make sure it's clean. Let's make sure it's functional. Let's make sure to give it attention. This is why we're there. We're there to save souls. The baptistry should not be relegated to some minor issue in the church. It's the most important room in your church. So have everything ready. Make sure that in that baptistry, there are baptismal garments of all sizes. Call Christian Family Bookstore. Order extra large, XX large, XXX large, extra small, medium, large. Make sure the preacher has the waiters that he needs in order to conduct the baptism. Preachers, make sure you have the proper attire back there. Make sure there are hair products. Make sure that there are combs and brushes and mirrors for people to change their clothes. I know these are basic functions, basic things, but if you're going to have baptisms that are important, again, baptism's part of the local church. It's part of the evangelism model. Be prepared for the baptisms. Perhaps those who are going to do the baptizing, practice your baptisms. What's wrong with the preacher taking a few of those who are teachers, those leading the studies, and saying, listen, we're going to practice some baptisms. When I went to school, at the Southwest School of Bible Studies, part of our classroom training was baptism training. We actually went to the baptistry. They taught us how to do a baptism. People are shorter, smaller, bigger, people who may be scared of the water. How do you set aside their fears and make them feel more comfortable? So again, the baptism step of the model is important. There are several processes, several parts to this. Be prepared as a church. Spend time, elders, preachers, making sure that all things are ready. When you call for the invitation, that's literally all things are ready. Come to the feast. We're ready. We're prepared to enjoy with you the most important, perhaps, moment in your life, the moment of your salvation. May God bless your efforts to win souls for the Lord's church. Looking forward to hearing from you soon.